Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I want to get an episode in before the day job starts. So I only have a couple of things left that I've put on the list now for I do a release candidate 3, and it's not like the numbers are hugely high for what I'm doing. If I go here, I've done this before. If I say rocks, you gotta do packages. You can't just put yeah, you can. If I do this, that's right. It's packages rocks. Okay. Yeah, 59 downloads. So if I say org packages rocks, that'll work. Okay. Excuse me. In the morning, still getting the coffee going. So 59 downloads. Yeah. I'm kind of curious. Yeah, at some point, it was getting a fairly distinct, not like a lot, but it was always that number of downloads, which I always thought was really strange. And it's kind of funny here too, between this and this. I think that was when the nullable reference type thing was kicking in, because before that, there really was no need to change. So what was I going to do? Things. Oh yes, this. So here's the list of things that I am going to do. This first one is InParameters. Okay, so I think I'm going to put this eventually when I do ref and out tests. So you know what? Let's call this, because I should have here one for the in and then one for the out. And the out is when you do a ref return. That's going to be a little bit trickier. Okay. So I'm going to do special method member tests. Method. Yeesh, I got something in my throat this morning. Method member tests. Okay. Yes. But we're going to keep this here. And we're going to add two more. Public interface. I have in, because what you can say is void in argument, in int. Well, it doesn't matter. In int a. Okay. And the thing with an in parameter is, from what I've been able to read, is that it means that you cannot change the parameter inside of your method. So for example, if I do this, public class have in, I have in, and then I say implement it. Okay. And let's do that. I can say var x is equal to a, and that's fine. And var y is equal to a times x, and that's fine. But what I cannot do is var a is equal to x times, no, not z. I can, and I already have it, a is equal to x times y. That should throw a ready, yeah, there we go, red squiggly. And that's saying you cannot assign a variable, because it's a read-only variable. So this is something that I don't think, it took me a second to realize what this was, because in and out are contravariants and covariants, if I got those right. And so using in here was a little weird, because what it's just saying, arguably, maybe you should put this on all your arguments, because, if you don't want to, because reference types are passed in by reference by default. Well, they're passed in by reference by default, in that if you call things on that argument value, the caller gets those changes. But if you change the assignment inside your method, the caller, it's still referring to what it was referring to. If you pass it in by ref, then they are. Okay. So this is just saying, I want to make sure that I don't change my arguments, and I don't assign them to something, because I don't want to do that. So for me to support that, I definitely need to put the in there, but there's nothing that I need to do special. For example, if I looked at my notes here, yeah, I just need to put an in on the parameter. And can you do this if I say int this in int a get? No, not int in int. That is legal. Okay, that's a little different. Public class have in, I have in, and then if I do this, if I say implement the interface, yeah, it does in. So I got to do it for indexers as well. So and that's different because I think with indexers, with the previous stuff with the refs and the outs, it didn't work that way. So that is one change. So let's get to it. Let's make it happen. So I think the only places I even care about this are in the builder. So if I go to mock method value builder, I already have the direction here. Ref and out, I don't think you can combine them all. So I would say here, so if it's a ref, it's this. Else, if the ref kind is out, else, if the, oh my god, I can't type this morning, that ref kind is equal to ref kind in, then we say in. Otherwise, it's a string.empty. Okay. And then I need to make the same change here. Okay. You know, I could do this as a switch statement. In that I could say var d is equal to ref kind switch. Ref kind ref. Ref. Ref kind out. Out. Ref kind in. In. And the default is string.empty. There. And do that. Do that. I think that reads a little nicer than this. You know, there's a block there, but that's okay. Yeah, I think that reads better than a ternary. So yeah, I'll keep that in there. And then the only other spot we have to go to is in the mock indexer builder. Build getter, blah, 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 build, get signature. If it's a params, yeah. So what we're going to need here is right here. Except in this case, we don't care about refs and outs. We only care about ins. And then the parameter type get name. Oh yeah, it's okay. It's a little different this case. So could you say params in? I mean, would that even be a thing? The params parameter, yeah, okay. So never mind. It would not it would not be so silly. So direction. And then these are just, because of the rules of C#, they should just cancel out. So in other words, you wouldn't have to worry about these ever happening at the same time. Okay. Let's end it. Yeah. All right. So I think, well, now we got to close this down and start it up again. What am I doing? There. Okay. Yeah. I just realized I'm calling this method member tests. they're kind of like parameter tests, but the out is eventually something when we do ref returns that we have to keep in mind. So I just want to do a real quick test here and do this one where we update. Let's grab these quick and then come over here and say, nope. Yep. And then we do that. And then we run these and we see, does it give us the output that we expect? Yeah, I love it when processes are competing for resources on your machine when you're trying to do stuff. All right. Okay. In is there. We don't have it in the identifier though. We do have it in here because those are the same. So that's one thing I forgot. Okay. So void method description, parameters description. Oh yeah, I don't put it up there. But that should be simple. Okay. And then we do the value builder. Same thing. All right. Let's come over back to the test. Rerun. Yeah, rerun it in debugger so I can get the output, please. Which is what I really meant to do. All right, come on. I always think these things are going to be, oh, they're quick. They're going to be simple. No problem. But then I actually get into it and I'm like, yeah, these take time. You know, they just take time. Extended. So, okay. So now we've got in. Okay. All right, and now we should be able to, now we should be able to stop, close, and start it up again. Create a test with the code generation in place and see if everything works, which it should, because again, I don't change any of the argument values in what I do unless you're passing in a delegate to do refs or outs, and that's on purpose. But otherwise, I don't change them. So this should just fall through and be a simple, it works. Should be, right? So we're going to say here, eventually, we're going to put in test, and we're going to say public static void mock members with InParameters. God, is it just slow? It is really slow. What is... Okay, maybe it calmed down. Maybe it's calmed down by now. I was looking at Task Manager. So var rock is equal to rock create of I have in. Okay. And then we say rock dot methods. There's no suggestions because you suck. In argument arg. I'm just going to do 3 here. We don't care about the return value. Rock dot indexers getters. This, we also pass it a 4, but it returns a 5. Var chunk is equal to rock.instance. Okay, and then we say chunk in argument, which should be a 3, chunk var value is equal to a chunk of a 4, rock.verify, assert multiple assert that value is equal to 5. Run this and see what fails, because it never works the first time. It should never work the first time. Again, this shouldn't be a big change though. This should be pretty simple and straightforward. So we really shouldn't have broken anything with this. And we don't. Let's go to here and let's say run all tests. None fail. Good. So that's done. And again, I said that was probably going to be pretty easy. Okay. And the next one, I could just do this. I think that one will be fairly easy, but ref returns. So this is, if I put up a little cheat sheet here, if I have public interface, I have ref return. And this would be for indexers as well. Ref int ref return. Don't care about the parameters. And ref int this int a. Okay. Now in this case, there's a couple things that I need to do. So if I say public interface, no public class, well, let's just let Visual Studio do the hard work for us, which is if I do this. What the hell? Oh, yeah, that would help. There we go. You actually have to specify the things. Good thing I did this, because otherwise I would have been public class have ref return. I have ref return. Jeez, man. The thing though with this is if I really want to do these, I have to do something like private ref return this and make that an int. Okay. And then private int ref return. Okay. And then I can say ref this dot rr this. Okay. And then the same thing down here. Ref this rr ref return. And there you go. The thing is, when you're returning a parameter by reference, you have to return something that can stay on the stack. I believe that's how you phrase it. You can't just return like 3 because you're trying to return something that the caller is referencing that you have referenced. And so the only way you can really do that is by having a field. So what I need to do is if a method, here, let me get my, this is why this one's a little bit more complicated. So I gotta get the space. Always gotta leave the space. So need to add ref to return values when necessary. Need to generate a field for the member named RR member name. Now that's not actually specific enough now that I think about it. That's right. Member, that's what I came up with. Member identifier. There we go. I'm glad I have those. So this one would actually be like 0. This one would be 1. And then you'd have 0 and 1. And technically, if you give me a class that has a protected field that has the same name that I'm about to generate, then yes, they would collide, but you shouldn't do that. What I'd really like to see is if I could generate a field name that is not supported by C#, but it's still done anyway. because I know they do that for like manage backing field, not manage backing fields. That's a CSLA thing. For a auto-generated field or whatever you call it, like when you do the property get set and you don't actually provide a field, then it automatically generates one for you, but it gives this really weird name that nobody should ever generate in the first place. You know, that's kind of what I would want to do here, is generate a name that's like something like that has an astronomically no chance of you creating it unless you purposely tried to name something like that. And then if you did, bad person. So that's something I might want to check. But in the large, somebody coming up with RR0 and RR1 as protected fields, which you really should never make your fields protected. Your field should always be private. You know, that's just a good design thing in my opinion. But anyway, I would cross that bridge when I come to it if I ever ran into a case where somebody's like, you really got to name that differently. And then I would just come up with a different naming scheme that would be like really, really cryptic and nobody should ever hit. Okay. Need to generate a field. Assign the field to the callback or return value and return the field as ref this RR member identifier. And that should be it. I mean, that should be put a semicolon at the end of my sentence. That should be enough to get this to work correctly. So like I said, this really isn't that much, but it's still a little bit of work, because I have to make sure that when I'm generating the method, but when I generate the class, I have to have a routine there that says generate ref return fields when generating the mock add build ref return fields. Okay. Because that has to come first. And then in the field, the callback, yes, so this would come second because, and in the member descriptions, don't forget about those. We want to be consistent there. If necessary, send the field to the callback. There really shouldn't be anything else other than that. So I think I'm going to do this starting another episode and get the ref returns in. And then if that is done, then I think I'm going to do this one if I finish the episode, because I think that would be somewhat easy to do. The create makes is not hard. It's going to take a couple of episodes to do, and I might just do that off camera because they're necessary, but they're just, it's not like, ooh, cool, interesting work. It's just kind of grind work to get that one to happen. And I think I'd rather have that done off camera where I don't have to think about what I'm saying while I'm doing it. So I will do one more episode, get some more coffee, and work on ref returns and maybe that other bullet point. And then I will take a break from recording. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.